Last month, the judge issued a temporary restraining order blocking her from making those appointments without approval from trustees.
I am about to address some things as the supervisor. There will be no comments, there won't be anything. It will just be me addressing you guys to tell you what.
Get ready for a whirlwind of drama as we delve into the tumultuous world of Dalton, Illinois, where Mayor Tiffany Henyard has become the epicenter of a political scandal that's as jaw-dropping as it is unbelievable. As the town's first female, Mayor Henyard made history, but her tenure has quickly spiraled into chaos, capturing attention for all the wrong reasons. Hold on tight. This is one story you won't want to miss.
Investigator, I've got some books that's here. Inside I have from the United States District Court Organization.
Despite being at the center of multiple investigations and facing serious allegations of mishandling public funds, along with enduring a barrage of accusations that threatened to tarnish her reputation, Tiffany Henyard has announced her intention to seek re-election as mayor of Dalton. Yes, you read that correctly. Re-election. This decision has left many residents baffled, wondering why someone so deeply embroiled in controversy, with a track record of financial mismanagement and questionable practices, would choose to continue pursuing a political career under such intense scrutiny. To understand this perplexing move, it is essential to examine Henyard's rise to power. When she was elected mayor of Dalton in 2021, it marked a historic moment for the small town located just south of Chicago. Henyard became the first woman to hold the office, igniting a wave of optimism among residents who were hopeful for meaningful change. Her campaign platform emphasized transparency, reform, and improving the quality of life for the community. These promises resonated deeply with voters, many of whom were eager to break free from the broken promises of the old political guard. Henyard was hailed as a symbol of progress and a fresh vision for Dalton's future. However, the initial sense of hope that surrounded her administration began to fade as cracks emerged in her leadership. The ambitious goals that had once inspired excitement soon became overshadowed by growing concerns about her governance. Allegations of financial mismanagement began to surface, with suspicions of missing public funds and improper use of taxpayer money sparking outrage. These revelations led to a series of investigations, casting a shadow over her administration and eroding public trust. What had initially been celebrated as a promising start devolved into a narrative of dysfunction and scandal. Reports of unaccounted spending, negligence in critical areas such as insurance and senior services, and questionable financial dealings raised alarm among residents. As the investigations piled up, Henyard's career, once full of promise, appeared to be unraveling at an alarming pace. Legal challenges soon compounded her troubles. One significant blow came in the form of a lawsuit contesting her removal from the Thornton Township Democratic ballot after her defeat in the Democratic caucus in December. This legal battle further fueled the perception that Henyard was more focused on salvaging her political career than addressing the needs of the constituents who had elected her. Adding to the turmoil were allegations of personal financial issues. Claims of unpaid rent and ongoing legal disputes with her landlord painted a picture of a leader struggling to maintain control in both her professional and personal life. Despite all this, Henyard has chosen to push forward with her re-election campaign, a decision that has left many shaking their heads in disbelief. Some see this move as audacious, a bold and unapologetic attempt to cling to political power despite the controversy surrounding her. Political leaders under fire often attempt to return to the public arena in hopes of reversing their fortunes, and Henyard may believe that she can still rally enough support by positioning herself as a resilient figure weathering an unfair storm of criticism. She may hope to shift the narrative, framing the scrutiny she faces as systemic challenges rather than personal failings. Others argue that Henyard has no other choice but to run for re-election. With her political career hanging by a thread, this may be her last chance to secure her future and attempt to clear her name. By re-entering the race, she could hope to rebuild her credibility, rally her supporters, and potentially regain the trust of the community. Henyard's decision comes at a time when Dalton is grappling with severe financial disarray and political gridlock. Critical programs designed to support vulnerable populations, such as seniors and low-income families, have been neglected due to administrative mismanagement. Critics argue that Henyard's leadership has failed to address these pressing issues, further fueling resentment among residents. Yet, she may see her re-election bid as an opportunity to overcome past failures, regain control of the narrative, and lead Dalton toward a more stable future. Regardless of the motivations behind her decision, Henyard's re-election campaign signals a determination to press forward despite relentless public backlash and mounting opposition. Whether this is a last-ditch effort to salvage her political career or a calculated move to reframe her image, Henyard's decision to run again demonstrates her willingness to face criticism and fight for power, no matter how controversial it may be. Meanwhile, Dalton finds itself at a critical crossroads. The town's financial situation remains dire, and residents continue to grapple with the fallout from Henyard's leadership. Whether she can turn the tide in her favor and secure a second term remains uncertain. What is clear, however, is that Henyard's re-election bid is about more than politics. It is a battle for her survival in the public eye as the town confronts one of its darkest chapters. For both Henyard and the people of Dalton, the stakes could not be higher.
Is shameful. Y'all are a disgrace.
Almost immediately after assuming office, Tiffany Henyard's leadership style came under scrutiny. Trustees, residents, and even former allies accused her of governing Dalton as though it were her personal fiefdom. Decisions were often made behind closed doors, with minimal transparency or public input. The most troubling aspect of her administration was her reckless spending of taxpayer funds, seemingly treating public money with the carelessness of monopoly cash. By 2022, just a year into her term, voter dissatisfaction reached a tipping point, culminating in an unprecedented recall effort that successfully removed her from office. Frustrated by her leadership, Dalton residents voted overwhelmingly to oust Henyard. However, she was not ready to concede defeat. Henyard challenged the recall decision in court, and in a surprising turn of events, the Illinois Appellate Court overturned the recall vote, reinstating her as mayor. With her position restored, Henyard returned to power as though nothing had happened. This bold move left many questioning whether her persistence was a sign of resilience or sheer defiance. Rather than using this second chance to reflect on her leadership style, mend relationships, or address the criticisms against her, Henyard doubled down on her approach. Her refusal to reevaluate her methods only intensified the criticism, and tensions within Dalton continued to rise. Before long, the situation spiraled further out of control. For those who hoped she might reassess her leadership after nearly being removed, Henyard's subsequent actions proved them wrong. Scandals became more frequent, and her administration drew sharper scrutiny. Matters escalated significantly when the FBI became involved. Earlier this year, FBI agents visited Dalton's village hall, not for routine business, but to investigate the village's financial records. Their arrival signaled that serious concerns about financial mismanagement were being taken seriously at the federal level. The FBI's investigation into Dalton's finances only deepened the growing questions surrounding Henyard's administration. Allegations of financial irregularities, mishandling of public funds, and questionable practices became central to the controversy. The investigation painted a troubling picture of Henyard's governance, lending weight to accusations of incompetence and corruption. With the FBI now examining the financial dealings of the village, Henyard's leadership came under even greater scrutiny. Far from silencing critics, these developments only fanned the flames of discontent. Residents and trustees alike grew increasingly anxious about what the investigation might reveal. Rather than portraying herself as a leader committed to the community's well-being, Henyard's tenure alienated her from many of her constituents. Public distrust reached new heights, and frustration among residents grew steadily. Nevertheless, Henyard remained undeterred, an unwavering determination that has defined her leadership style, but also risks further alienating the very people she was elected to serve. One of the most contentious issues at the heart of the controversy is Henyard's alleged financial mismanagement. Claims that she treated Dalton's finances as her personal piggy bank have sparked widespread outrage. Among the most shocking allegations is her reported use of tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars for personal Amazon purchases. These claims left residents feeling betrayed and angered by the misuse of public funds. The Amazon purchases, however, were merely the tip of the iceberg. Further allegations suggest that Henyard engaged in even more outrageous spending, raising additional questions about her priorities and ethics. Instead of adhering to principles of fiscal responsibility and transparency, her actions have fueled public suspicion and deepened the crisis of trust. As the FBI investigation looms over her administration, the political landscape in Dalton grows more unstable. Henyard's relentless and unapologetic drive, which once seemed like a strength, now threatens to become her downfall. With mounting public backlash and federal authorities examining her conduct, the future of her political career is in jeopardy. Dalton finds itself at a critical juncture. The town's financial stability is in shambles, public trust in leadership is eroded, and the shadow of the ongoing FBI investigation casts doubt over the community's future. The central question remains: can Tiffany Henyard weather the storm she has created, or is this the end of a political career defined by controversy, defiance, and discord? Henyard's tenure as mayor has been marked by a series of scandals and allegations, particularly regarding financial mismanagement and unethical conduct. These issues, coupled with accusations of extravagant personal expenses funded by public money, have left a lasting impact on Dalton. Whether she can survive these challenges and rebuild trust